Hey guys, Matt.
And Mike, and this is the IronTrap Garage 2020 $20 Challenge.
What is the $20 challenge? Now the $20 challenge is where we're starting at the beginning of 2020 with, you guessed it, 20 bucks, and we're gonna make a purchase for $20 or less and flip everything until we get something that we've always wanted to buy at the end of the year. Now my goal for this year is to turn this $20 into a brand new car trailer for myself.
Hopefully I take my $20 and buy a hot rod project to build right on this channel.
So follow along as we show you some tips on how we're gonna take 20 bucks and take the dreams and turn them into a reality. All right, so we're doing a kind of a not even halfway point, an update on the 2020.
An update on Matt winning.
Nah, I don't know about that yet. So, you might remember in the last video, I went to buy those hubcaps and I was dealing with the interesting gal and she had some other items in the trunk of her car and I ended up paying 60 bucks for everything instead of the 45 for just the hubcaps. And I remind you, I actually overpaid. She only wanted 55 and I told her 60 because I felt bad because she told me she was living out of her car or something, I don't know.
You probably didn't have change either, did you? You probably only had 20, so it was like, let's just make it 60.
Yeah, that was the real reason. But I was trying to make myself look better. Anyways, so what she had, and we kind of showed you in the final photo, was I ended up getting these old Volkswagen hubcaps, which I didn't really care that much about. I threw away this like 90s or 80s Jeep like plastic hubcap. I literally just threw it away, didn't want it. But what really interested me was she had this old motorcycle like half fender that looked like it came off a chopper or a bobber, and might have heard her in the sound bite that she was saying that her grandfather, where this stuff came from, rode motorcycles or had something. So this was my
Gamble,
if you will. I don't think these are worth a lot. They're probably worth a couple bucks, but eventually they will clean up with some work. But so I put this up for sale. Not knowing, I just was like, looked up on eBay and I saw a similar fender that was a little different, sold for like 100 bucks. It's like, all right, let's try it. So I put it on Instagram on the Old School Finds page for 100 bucks. Somebody actually commented on it and said, hey, I think that's actually Triumph pre-unit. It's a fender for one of them, or a cut fender. So I looked it up, sure enough, that's what it was. So I threw it on eBay for $110, buy it now, and put Triumph pre-unit, blah, blah, blah.
and it sold in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I just get a screenshot with a ha ha ha.
So, it goes to show you guys, I do it all the time. Buy extra stuff, bundle stuff together because it works. And
so that puts you you're ahead of me already.
yeah, so what is that? $157.50, and I just sold the fender, so I'm at $267.50. Then I went to an estate to look at a bunch of neat speed equipment stuff, which I got some really killer stuff and spent like way too much money. But what I did was also separately on the floor, there was a Mercury 4-inch crank, and I made a side deal after I spent like a bunch of money on stuff I won't sell and all the money I'm gonna lose, which is not what we want to talk about. So
He's forgot about it already.
Yeah, forgot about it. It's awesome. Got the 4-inch crank for 50 bucks, which is usually what I kind of pay for them because they are a little bit of a gamble. You don't know if they're cut. And until you get them home and clean them up and measure them, you don't know if they've been cut too much and they're good or junk. So we measured it, cleaned it up. They looks decent. I think it'll be a good crank to use. So these cranks, they're all over the place. Sometimes I put them on eBay and I've sold them for $400 or $500 for, if a guy really needs one. A lot of times they shake out in the $250 to $350 range. But like I said, I've gotten as much as $400 or $500 depending on the day of the week. So yeah, if I can sell that. So I'm at
No, you're at 160.
I spent 50 for that. How was that?
You were at
267.50. So I am at 217.
We suck at math.
217.50 I'm at. I'm good at flipping stuff, but not good at math.
So I actually bought something. So it's only February 6th.
Yes.
So 6 days into the month, and we've already bought and sold some stuff. I bought something yesterday. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. So we'll take you guys along and see what I bought, and hopefully I can flip that and stay ahead of Matt.
Let's hope.
Let's see.
'Cause it's yeah.
Next month is gonna be so bad. Oh God.
I can't wait. When I go to Charlotte Swap Meet, man, I'm gonna buy and sell at the Charlotte Swap Meet, like buy stuff and sell it, and just by the end of the swap meet, we moved along, hopefully. So anyways.
Let's go see what I bought.
Yeah.
All right, so I just picked up my 2020 next flip item. I paid $22. It was actually 18 bucks plus buyer's premium and tax. $18 or $22 for this cool Redding 6-pack carrier. Now it has all the bottles. They're all complete. They all have lids. It's actually really nice shape. These things go between 75 and 100 at like beer shows. So I'm gonna list it on eBay. Go a little high, I'd say 130, and take offers from there. But this should be an easy flip. I'm about an hour away from home. There's a few antique shops in between here and my house. So I'm gonna hit a couple. Maybe I can buy a couple other things. Since it's only sent me back $22, I think I have $210 left or something like that. So see if we can find some. If not, quick easy flip, and hopefully I'll stay ahead of Matt. All right, so I sold the 6-pack carrier immediately after I listed it for $85. eBay fees and PayPal fees later, it was like $72, so it puts me around $284. Steering wheel popped up for sale on Facebook Marketplace locally. I'm actually headed to Matt's to help him today, but the guy's meeting me in town right near Matt, so I'm gonna pick it up. We'll take it back to the shop and we'll see what it is and the condition. Fingers crossed, I believe it's an original. From the photos, it looks original. We'll take a closer look, figure it out, and hopefully I have a quick come up. We'll see. So let's go pick it up, take it back to Matt's, see what we think. All right, so sorry for the noise. Andrew's working and putting stuff away for Matt. So this is what I bought. This is a GM accessory wheel. This is called a butterfly wheel, is what they refer to it as. Has the horn ring, but it is missing the button, which is kind of a bummer. But paid $145 for this. The guy bought it at an auction and was just flipping it, and he looked at some listings online and could only find like the reproductions from like Eckler's and places like that. He didn't find any like OE steering wheels, original steering wheels. So there was one that sold on eBay for like $750 that had the button. So I'm hoping to sell this one for say $650, $500 to $650, something like that. Be a nice little boost, and it actually puts me close to my target for the month, which was $1,000. So let's take some photos. I might even clean up the horn ring, which it actually won't take much to do that. Maybe I'll do that. I'll take the horn ring off, clean it up, put it up for sale, and then this actually keeps me ahead of Matt. Thank God. All right, so a few updates. I sold that GM steering wheel and I bought another steering wheel. So that GM butterfly wheel, I slapped it on eBay and sold it almost immediately for $420. So with eBay fees and everything taken out, shipping was extra, so I don't have to worry about that. Puts me a little over $500. After I bought that steering wheel, a viewer sent me a message that said, hey, I'm looking for a steering wheel for my 38 Buick. Keep an eye out. If you find something, I'll gladly contribute to you kicking Matt's butt in the 2020 challenge. So, scroll on Facebook Marketplace a day or two later. Lo and behold, I find a banjo steering wheel for a 38 Buick. It's actually for a Buick Special, which is, I believe, is a higher trim level. It's a really nice banjo steering wheel when they're totally like in pristine shape. This one is good for a driver. I believe this is lucite, is cracked in a couple spots. There's a few spots that are a little loose, like this. But what you could do with this wheel, which I believe he's going to do, is you can wrap just the hand part so it at least stays together. The trim, or the horn ring and horn button, are in beautiful shape. It's a really nice steering wheel. It'll clean up pretty well. So I bought this for $125, sold it to him for $350 plus shipping. So that puts me right around $725, I want to say. I believe that's what it is. I have it written down upstairs. I'll put it right here in the video. So $725. Matt and I are going to look at a few things this weekend. Fingers crossed that I can put together a nice pile for $700. I'd like to buy as much as I can for $700, and then that gives me a ton of items to flip. I'm now that I'm getting higher up in the dollar range, I'm going to try and start bundling and buying more items so I can sell them and have items to constantly sell instead of buying one thing at a time. So let's see what we can find. I got to stay ahead of Matt, and I'm super close to my $1,000 goal for the end of the month. Fingers crossed there's like a week and a half left. Fingers crossed I can be above $1,000 and most importantly, still ahead of Matt. So how are you doing in the 2020 challenge?
Doing pretty good. I think I was at 5. So I sold my 4-inch crank actually to somebody on Instagram. Even though I had it for sale on eBay and everything, somebody on Instagram hit me up and they were using Don that did the engine in the T and the engine in the coupe. He was redoing a flathead for them and they needed a 4-inch crank. And I had one. He just asked me kind of blindly, and I had one, and I sold the crank for $300. It was like a local delivery type deal. And so I was at 557.
Put the number right
I think
here.
it's 557.50. I got these messed up numbers. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And Mike actually got the lead today.
Yeah.
So
we'll explain that then. Let's see what you bought.
Okay, so I had to dig pretty hard. This place we were at, the guy's been selling for about 2 years, even though he had buildings full of stuff. A lot of people had been through there, so I had to dig. So a lot of stuff I bought, I kind of like took gambles on, or I sort of knew, because it was all the really common Ford stuff was like nowhere to be found. So these were marked as 32 Buick. I knew they were some kind of like 32 GM because they did the little side doors. Common thing to do on a lot of the customs was customs or hot rods back in the day, guys would actually put these on 32 Fords, but also a 32 Buick is kind of a hard to find car now. So really the rule of thumb is if it's a 32 anything, I don't care what make of car, the parts are usually hard to find and desirable. So I picked up this 32 hood for $30.
Yep.
And I'll just probably throw it on eBay and just see what it does, or research it and see what it does. I dug way down into like under rafters, all kinds of a mess.
I grabbed a really good video clip of him all the way in the back.
Yeah, it's horrible. Digging around in these hubcaps, and I got really psyched because I found an early flipper cap, single bar.
Flip it over.
And I handed it to Mike behind my back, didn't get to look at it, and then wah, wah, wah.
And as he's handing it to me, I go, dude, this really is really rough. Yeah, it's awesome though.
But anyways, the guy felt bad for me, so he actually gave it to me. So that's pretty sweet. So actually what I'm gonna do is probably just sell the whole mess, but somebody will buy this just for the single bar because these hubcaps are so expensive now that if you buy a good cap that's missing the bar, guys will buy just the bars. So it was free, but I figure I can probably at least get, I don't know, $20, $10 for it, I think, just because of the single bar. So that was cool.
There's 2 items on the fender too, so you don't forget.
Oh yeah. So I got lucky. Mike got in first into an area and it was looking around and this was hanging. It was at the right height because I'm short that I saw it, but this is an early brass fuel pump, hand fuel pump for an early brass car. Could have been used on a little speedster, not quite sure, but really killer piece. So I paid $30 for this, but I'm pretty convinced that pretty much any of these hand fuel pumps, they usually go for $70 on up to like $300 depending on what they are. So I'll probably just clean it up a tiny bit and put it up and see if we can catch one of the early speedster guys that wants this. Another brass part I got was an old shift knob that I think is actually, it's heavy. I think it's actually made out of brass, so I'll probably polish this up a little bit or clean it up, sell that. I don't know, this might be, I think, what did I pay? I think I paid $1 for it.
$1 or $2, yeah.
And I don't know. Best case scenario, I'll get $30 for it. Worst case, I'll get 5 or 10 for it. So just the fact that it's brass is cool. So one of the first things I found was this ripple bumper that you would commonly see a lot of the early customs run, and unfortunately we only found one, but I walked past it like 3 times, and then we were walking out of the one section, I saw it standing up. Couldn't find the other one, but it's an original, it's not a Brizio remake. So these are always desirable. I'm probably going to sell it, but I may hold on to it a little bit and see if I can find a match for the 39 Merc. Not sure yet, but I paid $5 for that, which was a great deal. Even if I sell it and it's only a single, they are going for a lot of money, and they're very hard to find. First time I've ever found one of them like in the wild. I dug again in some mess through a bunch of old dashes and got this. I think it was $2.
Yep, he felt bad for that too.
He felt bad for that too. But it's $2 for a 35-36 pickup dash. I really kind of bought it because the parts are very expensive and hard to find for them. So even for a guy that wants this for patches for like the gauge area or for this upper dash rail, it's something that somebody can use, and I can probably, I don't know, even if I can get 20 or 50 bucks for it, when they're complete, they go for like hundreds of dollars, so I think I can do okay with it. Saw in one of the buildings there was a Model A coupe, and we were looking around some of the stuff in there. I found this stack of Model A 3031 stainless cowl bands, and kind of asked the guy about it. He said, oh, they're really rough. People have already been through and picked the good ones out. So I kind of put them back. I said, well, what do you want for all of them? He said, $5 for a whole stack. So I bought those, pretty psyched. What else do we get? So I got the steering box. It's like a mystery steering box, but the steering wheel is what grabbed me. It was kind of an interesting, like, round tube banjo wheel. Now it's marked as 35 Pontiac, but I don't know if I've ever seen a Pontiac with that wheel before. But the reason I bought this is one of those things, like we've been kind of teaching you guys, and I've said before, like when I see stuff at swap meets or auctions, it's like, or even like eBay browsing, you see something that's priced like really high, I've never seen it before, I'll like put it in my memory bank, so if I'm ever out of place, I'll think about it. So like, I remember seeing a steering wheel with the round tube banjo like this that was like pretty valuable, but I can't remember what it was, but I think I paid 20 bucks.
I think it was 20, yeah.
I think it was 20 bucks I paid for this. So I figured even for the steering box, once we figure out what it is, it's worth more than that, even if the wheel's not a home run. I don't mind. So then in the end, when we were making a deal on everything, they didn't have change, of course. So what we ended up doing is there was this kind of crusty but still solid 23 to 25 Model T turtle deck. And I worked it into the deal, and he was asking 40, and I was going to leave it behind because it's a little crusty.
You paid $7 for it.
7?
Well, 21. I paid 15 for it, and you paid 7.
Yeah, so.
You owe me $15, by the way.
Yeah, so what did I pay? 21. So I paid $21 for it, just so we can make an even dollar amount, so we could hit our even 200 bucks. So that's what I got.
Oh, you forgot your tag topper.
Oh, yeah, and as we were walking out, it's one of the first things I saw, and I almost forgot about it, but it's a cool old We Are For Safety tag topper. So this is a cool little item. These always sell well. I sell this kind of stuff on my sales page on Instagram, Old School Finds. I sell a lot of this stuff like this. That's just fun stuff that you can buy for pretty cheap. So this was $2. I'll probably sell for like 10 bucks. And I spent $110 total for all this stuff. Mike helped me because I couldn't remember.
I just had to add it up quick.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I got. Really, the home runs for me is probably the ripple bumper and the hood. Still 10 bucks. I don't care if it fell on the ground.
Perfect.
So yeah, the hood and the bumper I think are my two like home run items that will actually make some decent money. My gamble item is that steering wheel. If that steering wheel turns out to be really good, it may add and bump me up hundreds of dollars, which will be really awesome. But overall, I think we're gonna do pretty good. I'm gonna do pretty good on this. So let's show you what Mike got in his pile. Looks like a whole lot of junk. You didn't get anything good. What'd you get?
Nothing good. So I actually found this. This is kind of my lead. I set all this up for today. I found a lady selling Model A wire wheels on Facebook Marketplace. Just sent her a message casually, said, hey, you know, I'm not really interested in the wheels, but do you have any other stuff? And she said, we have a whole property full of stuff. They've sold 110 cars, I think they said, over the last 2 years. They've been selling parts. So unfortunately, we were late to the game, but we were able to really dig today and find a bunch of cool stuff. As you saw, Matt got a bunch of killer stuff. I actually found some really good stuff. So he found that pump, that hand pump, for gas, and was giving me crap that I didn't see it. 30 seconds later, I turned around and saw a stack of hubcaps, and I pulled this out of the stack. There was 3 hubcaps. Yes.
Son of a bitch.
This is a Lions hubcap. Now, a set of those sells for, what would you say, Matt, $500-600?
A really nice set. Yeah, they could end up going for $400 or $500.
I paid $1
for one hubcap.
for one hubcap. So I'm probably gonna try and get 75 to 100 for that. Take it home, clean it up, put it on eBay. Also bought this like aftermarket flipper cap. It's not super nice, but it'll clean up. I'll probably sell that for $10 maybe.
And would you pay $1 a piece for them?
$1 a piece?
Yeah, so you did pretty good.
Yes, I did.
So if anybody has a single one of these hanging on your wall, you have 3. Mike's got the mate, and he will wheel and deal.
And then I bought a Buick headlight trim for $1 as well. There wasn't a pair, but for $1 I just couldn't let it sit on the shelf. And I had to buy it before Matt bought it because he looked at it too.
I passed it up there because it was a single.
So I bought that, and then I bought this cool, it's actually a 12 volt, it's actually marked on the bottom, like finned coil. So I might use this, I might not use it. I might save it for my project. I paid $2 for it. So for $2, it's still cool to sit on the shelf.
If not, you can test it and we can sell it as good. The guy didn't know if it was good, so that's why it was so cheap. He was kind of selling it as is. So,
but
Mike,
a $2 gamble is well worth it.
Yes.
And then finally, for me to flip, I bought these 2 3031 Model A gas tanks for $30 a piece.
And they are really clean. Like I saw the one was sitting there.
This is the one. This was in the building.
Yeah, it was like sitting on a old scale, and he just had it sitting there. I thought maybe it was safe for himself.
Now there is some.
It's got some.
It's got some stuff in it.
It's got some loose patina in it.
Yeah, there's some loose patina. So they're both about in the same shape. They both have stuff inside of them. So I'm gonna try my best to clean them up, put them up for sale. I'm gonna try to get 100 to 150 a piece. I need to double check to see what like the going rate is for them right now. And then finally, I bought some stuff for myself. Bought a set of Model A cross members already cut out of the frame, like done very nicely, for $10 a piece.
Yeah, so, those are always, the nice thing is they were already taken out, so it saved a lot of labor.
And they're like in really good shape.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do any like repair. They just really need to be blasted and painted. So in total, I spent $65 today.
Not bad.
Bought that stuff, and then I bought those separately.
Yeah.
So $65, and hopefully I can get a little closer to my $1,000 goal. There's only a week left in the month.
Crap.
So hopefully Matt and I can wheel and deal heavily in the next 7 days.
Crap, I gotta get busy. Who wants to buy all this stuff? Forget about Mike. Right here, we got some good stuff. Find it for sale. Let me get ahead of Mike, because I've been slacking, working on cars and buying expensive things to keep.
I only bought 3 things this month. Only 3 things. It's all it takes to get ahead, my man.
I know.
So let's see where we end up.
All right, so end of the month, and we are ready to go through our 2020 totals. And beginning of the month, you were kicking my ass. Mike was tagging me all over Instagram, bragging about how he's kicking my ass.
I was enjoying the subtle lead at the beginning of the year.
And I was just being quiet and cool. I was like Mike Tyson, you know,
Yeah,
just being quiet, head down.
Two punch knockout.
Boom, ready to go. So after we went to that cool little pick that Mike found up in like the Poconos or wherever the heck we were, we bought a bunch of stuff, and I was actually like kind of out of my wheelhouse because it was a lot of just like, I call it off-brand. I don't want to say it in a negative manner, but like
it wasn't early Ford.
It wasn't early Ford. It wasn't really hot rod stuff. It was just like 30s and 40s and 50s stuff of other brands.
Even 60s, and got into muscle car stuff. There was like military vehicles. It was insane.
So I spent, like you guys, we talked about.
I think it was $95.
I spent 110.
That's right, because of the turtle deck.
Yeah, so I spent 110 bucks, and I got right to selling right away. I wasn't gonna. At the end of the month coming up, I wanted to finish strong, so I sold
Everything.
Almost everything.
What didn't you sell? The shift knob?
The brass shift knob, and I think the Model A cow bands. That's about it. So I sold the turtle deck to one of our subscribers, followers from Germany, and I sold that for $100 and shipped it. I actually cut it up into pieces and it's on its way over to Germany. So I got $100 for that.
It wasn't that nice. Don't get upset.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. Well, considering like nice turtle decks go for like $500, $600, $700, yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm telling you, I sold it for $100. And I sold the DeSoto bumper, the rib bumper, for $400 for it was the front, which is like the most desirable one, even though it was a little crusty. They're like super hard to find. I was gonna keep it for the Mercury, but because Mike was bragging so bad, I decided to curb my hoarding and sell everything. Wasn't keeping anything.
I brought this on myself.
So I sold that for $400. Then I sold the little single bar flipper hubcap that was roached for $20.
I can't believe you sold that for $20.
Yeah, I sold that to an Australian viewer. And he, let's see what else. Yeah, so he bought that, and then he bought the tag topper for $20. And then he bought some other stuff that wasn't in the thing. I sold the Buick hood sides. I think they were Buick.
Yeah.
Buick hood sides, 32. Yep. $300 for those. Well, it was the whole hood. $300 for that. That went to California. I just shipped that out. Just sold on eBay the old brass hand pump, fuel pump for $150. And then I sold the Pontiac steering wheel on eBay for $1,075.
Then he paid $30 for it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the downside was the steering box was absolute POS because it was like broken inside. Probably was pulled out of the car. Turned the steering wheel, the sector didn't move at all. So steering box is basically junk. I still put it up on eBay in case a restoration guy wants it for parts, but that was a gamble. Like, I know we're gonna get comments that guys are gonna be, I was thinking about this before we shot this outro, like, we're gonna get guys, like we always do, like, oh, you took advantage, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know, like, I totally took a gamble. Like, I thought it might have been cool. Like, Mike was there, like, I was saying to the guy that we're buying from, like, this looks neat, but like, I don't know, like, what it is. So like, there was just something in my head told me it was different. I bought it, and while people always like to play Monday morning quarterback and say we should have done this, we should have done that, I paid the prices.
It was $30 for any steering box.
Basically,
so
yeah.
It wasn't like we just picked one random. He said $30 for any of them.
Yeah, so I bought the steering box. It was a great deal. On the flip side, if that would have been a crappy steering wheel and I bought it to resell the steering box and the box was broken, nobody would have been saying that guy should have given me a refund. So
yeah.
To play devil's advocate, that was the price that we paid. Was basically, I might have talked it down a couple bucks here and there. For the most part, we said okay for 90% of the prices.
Super fair for everything else.
And it just worked out in that instance. I hit a major home run, and so I am at $2,472.50. So how'd you do?
I sold the Buick headlight trim for $30. That's it.
Okay. Well,
And I haven't bought anything else, so I'm at $790.
cool. So,
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well. I was actually tempted to buy a trailer the other day off it.
So I have an excuse. So as you can see, Matt spent his 2020 money already.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I bought this 32 Ford then on the last day of the month for $2,472.
So my excuse I'm going to use for this month is I've been editing all of the Larry Stroll videos like nonstop. So
Yeah, right.
that's come on, man, give me some excuse. So swap meet season starts.
Yeah, we had our first here in Pennsylvania. We had our first in Hamburg,
March 1st.
Pennsylvania. March 1st is the first swap meet. So I know we're giving something away. I didn't buy a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I didn't buy anything. I went and like BS'd with people and didn't buy anything. But I'm on Easy Street right now. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. I have the end of the month. Well, actually, I guess there's some swap meets in Maryland in March.
Yeah.
That we'll be hitting up. There's one in Westminster, Maryland that we usually hit on a Friday.
Shh, stop. You're giving away all the swap meets.
Who cares? It's all the same.
There's one March 14th, I think. That's a Saturday, right?
Yeah, there's one in Jersey that's the same weekend. I think it's a Sunday, and then the Saturday is the Maryland swap meet, and towards the end of the month there's the Westminster that's like a Friday Saturday deal.
And then what's going to put my nail in the coffin is Charlotte is the first week of April.
Yeah, it's end of March, first week of April.
And I can't go.
I'm going to be going with all my money, and I'm going to try and spend all my money and turn that into like 10 grand.
I'm going to have to hustle hard. Very hard.
So while he's scrounging on Facebook Marketplace and
Hey, Facebook
Jake's-
Marketplace paid off twice.
It did.
For me, so
It did. So
I'm gonna be scrolling through Facebook hard.
yeah, so that's how quickly one or two little, quick flips can help you. Like, I was kind of like distracted with all the projects we had going on in wintertime, and I wasn't like trying super hard just because I was so busy. And you get one or two like that and you're off and running. So, I mean, this can happen to anybody. Sometimes you take gambles and it works, sometimes. So Mike's hoping he finds
Something big.
something big. So that's where we're at for the end of February. March, April, summertime probably will move pretty good. I'm optimistic, and I hope March might be a little slow just because it's a couple little small swap meets, but I'm hoping. What are you hoping to be at the end of March?
So I was pretty close to my goal of $1,000.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 1,500. I'm not gonna go like $2,000, but let's try for 1,500.
Okay.
I'm gonna be high, but not like be overzealous like I was last month.
I'm feeling good. I'm hoping I'm gonna be at. I was gonna say 3,500.
Oh, that's fair.
So if I can make about $1,000,
Your goal is to stay double ahead of me.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping actually by like midsummer, well before Hershey, to already have my trailer bought, and I'm gonna buy something else and keep I might buy a project for Mike. Who knows? But not give it to him. Just buy. I'm gonna buy. There's a '34 Ford in the Larry Stroll estate I'd love to own, so maybe I'll try and have enough money left over, and we'll buy a '34.
Cut. Video's over. We're done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks,
Tuesdays,
guys.
Fridays, Sundays.
Have fun.
Let's go spend some money.
Yeah, let's hear about your 2020 purchases down below.
Yeah, let's go.
See you guys.